Trying to do some voice training, and I just really hate my voice. My voice is so fucked, I can't even speak. La 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 la, fuck me in the ass with a rusty pipe. Oh gosh, talking to myself. I don't really know what to do. Oh god, this guy from. Let's talk about creepy stuff. There's this guy who keeps messaging me, and he's like lives in like up north. He's always messaging me, like always like sending me videos of him wanking off and stuff like that, and it's so fucking creepy. You're just like, dude, please stop it, like. And every now and then he'll message me like, "Hi, want to see me wank off?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's alright. You're alright there. I've seen it. I know what a man wanking off looks like." Maybe if you're a hottie girl or something. But yeah, I don't get many of them. I don't get any of them. Not funny. Not even funny. Creepy stuff, creepy pasta. I love creepy pasta. It's so creepy. Like, and then the ghost did the ghostly thing, and it's creepy pasta. Creepy pasta. It's that guy, isn't it? He does the creepy pasta. He does the 4chan memes, and he's Tales from 4chan. And brave guy going into the depths of 4chan just to get these really odd stories from these odd guys and girls on the web. The creepy pasta guy. 4chan Tales of 4chan. I feel like giving a shout out, like shouting into the wind. He's got millions of subscribers. Like, don't forget to subscribe to him. He's really cool. I like him. The creepiest wild locations. It comes at night. It comes at night. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you haven't. Probably you haven't. But just maybe you have. Either way, I know that I've seen it, and that's what matters. As far as I'm concerned, you can believe what you want. I never cared about that part of things before, but I know it's out there, and you should too. It's in case it decides you're next. I have no recollection when it first came, or the first time I saw it. As far as I can remember, it was always there. Why am I doing it in this stupid voice? I do know that it first started while I was living with my grandparents, but actually nailing it down when it first appeared was very difficult. Well, my little sister and I were taken to state custody when I was 4. Finally, returned to our mother, and a month on my 10th birthday, I can honestly say those years were probably the best of my childhood. But everything has a price, and the price for those years of bliss always came at night. I don't really want to keep reading because it's just so fucking creepy. Remember the first time I saw it? I don't want to know. It's so creepy. I was woken out of a dead sleep one night. I couldn't figure out what woke me, and then I sort of lay there in a groggy stupor trying to gain my bearings. I quickly noticed the urge to pee, so I got up and, oh god, I can't read this. This is dark. This is some dark shit. I walked 5 steps or so and took my bedroom and bathroom and did my business. As I returned to my bedroom, I froze in the doorway, scanned the room, and feeling dread slowly welling up inside me. Seeing nothing out of the ordinary, I shrugged it off and climbed back into bed. As always, I have the habit of falling asleep to horror movies or scary movies. Usually Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt is so fucking good. So I chalked it up to vivid imagination of the Crypt Keeper. As the toilet ceased, filling its hissing running water died out and eventually went mute, I noticed a distinct tapping noise. Sounded like dog nails on a hardwood floor. Oh. That is creepy, isn't it? Except all the dogs were asleep. In the front yard. And our floors were carpeted. I was shaken by the noise for a second, but quickly tried to reason that it was my young mind, that I was hearing things, all fueled by my addiction and scary shit. So I pulled my pillow over my head and tried to go back to sleep. And that's when the tapping got louder. And its tone changed. No longer sounded like dog nails on hardwood, it sounded like fingernails tapping on glass. And it sounded like it's coming from above me, coming from my bedroom window. Ooh, creepy. So fucking creepy. Tentatively, I pulled the pillow away from my head. Slowly, my gaze shifted to the window. And what I saw chilled me to the bone. Red eyes glared at me from the other side of the window, malevolence bleeding from it like it's a stuck pig. Sharp fangs lined a pair of lips, and it was pulled back like a snarling tiger. Its face was covered with short black fur, and it had a pair of twisted horns. Oh my god, I'm scared. I could make this out to be a shadow of huge leathery wings coming off its back. When it caught my stare, it snarled quickly, shifted to the most evil grin I could possibly fathom. What's the most evilest grin you could possibly fathom? I was paralysed as soon as I made an eye contact, and in my head I could hear a strange, deep, gravelly voice speaking to me. But the language didn't, and I still didn't know. All I knew is it sounded like ancient and felt cruel. I didn't know how long we stayed that way, but all of a sudden I was able to break my stare and immediately scream like a little girl. John, what's wrong? My grandmother pleaded with me as she entered the room, and I just sat there blubbering like a baby, pointing at my window and occasionally letting out an inescapable squeak as I struggled to regain my composure and remember how to speak. The devil is on the roof. Now, before I continue, I may have always been agnostic. I absolutely believe that there is a higher power. Name is simply identify something. I do not believe in the devil. It's just a scapegoat for this ugly side of humanity. The devil is on the roof, I repeated. John, you're dreaming. I keep telling you to stop watching scary movies. I wanted to say so badly, believe me, Grandma, but I knew what I had seen. Still, I laid down, and Grandma sat there with me until I was asleep. I woke up to a bright morning, and no more incidences. The next night, I'm lying in my bed, and you guessed it, Tales from the Crypt, and when I hear the tapping again, this time you know it's not a nightmare. I tried to ignore it, but the tapping got increasingly louder. I resisted. I was afraid the damn thing was going to break my window. I quickly glanced towards the window. This is so fucking creepy. Okay, as soon as my eyes landed upon its horrible visage, I was frozen in place again. This time, the voice either spoke in English or it gave me some way to understand it, but I clearly heard it say, "Come with me, you have been forsaken, we will never forsake you." Who the heck was that, I thought? Who the heck was that? We are many. We are one. We are here for you, and you aren't leaving without you. It responded. And that's when I realised I could hear my thoughts. We can do more than just hear our thoughts. We can watch your memories. We can taste your fear. Sounds like fucking Gollum. Stupid odd bitsies. It can taste your fear. And with that, I felt a horrid pain in my head. My vision flared, stark white, shifted to bright crimson, and finally back to darkness of redness of whiteness. Oh my god! It's Toby Turner! It's Toby fucking Turner! Darkness of redness of whiteness! I woke, lying on my floor at the fetal position, although, the last I could remember, I'd been laying on my bed. Having a telepathic conversation, what I truly believed with a demon, I soaked in the sweat. Oh, I was soaked in sweat. I soaked in the sweat. I was like, soaking in the sweat. Shivering uncontrollably, I pulled myself off the floor, wobbled to the bathroom, stripped out of my sweat-drenched clothes, climbed into the shower, and got a hot water, warming my still chilled flesh to the bone. I didn't feel like me. It's hard to explain, but I was energetic, happy, exuberant. That morning, however, I felt dark, brooding energy. I didn't want to be around people. And even though it was terrifying, I didn't want to leave my bedroom all day. This continued. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Fuck off, you mice! Jesus Christ. Scary shit. One particular hot summer night, I woke up to an entirely new sound. Tapping had been replaced by scratching sound. I slowly opened my eyes and felt a draft come through my open window. Who opened my window? And then I remembered my grandmother coming into the room and saying how hot it was. I remember begging her not to open the window. Her begrudgingly, she left it closed. She agreeing to leave it closed. She must have opened it while I was asleep, and the scratching continued louder and louder and closer to my head. That is so fucking old now. I'm fucking freaking out. What the fuck? Okay, come with me. The gravelly voice, but this time it was audible. I hadn't looked towards my window, using every ounce of willpower I could muster in the hopes of avoiding that trance-like state. But the shock actually hearing that voice in my own ears was enough to snap my head around out of surprise, my ears immediately fixating upon the beast that tormented me nightly. It opened its mouth, and a barbed, forked tongue slithered out and flickered like a snake. It reached an unapportioned sinewy arm covered in short black bristles through my window and tried to grab at me. In the process, it broke our stare, and I was able to look from the window and move my body again. As I lunged off my bed and towards the door, one of its razor-sharp, who knew, claws sunk deep into the meat of my shoulder. Oh, fuck me, I screamed. That's so fucking... This is freaking me the fuck out now. I screamed screamed in sheer agony as its claw tore through my skin and muscles, splashing blood across the room, bleeding on the wall. Grandma came running into my room, opened the door, and froze. I didn't know if it was the blood, the beast, a combination of the two, or something else entirely. But she too let out a scream. I heard the hard flap of leathery wings. Right. Breeze pushing against the back of my window. Grandpa arrived at my bedroom door, glanced around the room, saw the gore on the bed and the wall, and immediately had me up in his arms, rushing me to the truck and then rushing me to the hospital. The doctor said I must have snagged my shoulder on a nail in my sleep, or I couldn't understand how I could get such a deep cut with such a clean cut from a nail. 14 stitches in my shoulder, a tetanus shot, and we were sent with a preventative antibiotic to keep my shoulder from getting infected. That was the last time I ever saw that thing. I know it exists. What is it? I don't know. I've had a shoulder injury my whole life. So I'm reading this and it's like, and then my shoulder got hurt. And I'm like, my shoulder hurts too. Shit. So fucking creepy. I hate creepypasta. It's so fucking creepy. Occasionally I still hear the tapping on my window, like the fingernails on glass. 20 years since I just wrote about it. My skin crawls and my blood runs cold. I hear about it, but when I keep one window closed but the blinds stay closed, just to be sure, an hypnotic stare, I never hear that horrible voice playing around inside my brain again. It's out there, looking for victims. This much I know for sure. Because some nights, after I've fallen asleep, I'll dream things. I'll be gliding over houses, land on roofs, and I'll lean over the edge of the roof and tap on someone's window, and then I'll hear it clear as day as my voice, "Come with me." That's so fucking creepy. Oh my god, I fucking love creepypasta. Oh, that reminded me of that image as well, of that fucking weird, creepy, oh gosh. I wish I had the picture. So creepy.